Hi, welcome to Illuminated Tarot. My name is Jenna. Today I'm here to do a reading for you for the week of October 6th through the 12th. Well, we have quite a fiery week ahead. There's a lot happening. I'm calling it the triage triangle of Aries, Scorpio, and Libra. Let's break it down. So we have a supermoon today. It's at 14 degrees Aries. It is happening, I think, around between the 11 and 12 o'clock hour, East Coast Standard Time. It could be happening in the 7th of October where you live, or later on in the 6th of October. So regardless of where this falls, you're going to feel this energy throughout the week. We have a little bit of we'll say it's a paradox. We've got this intense fire of Aries, right? Of let's take charge. And then we have this really deep emotional water that is about our excavating into what's beneath the surface. And then we have this Libra cry for balance at all costs. So you could feel like there's this tug of war going on, emotional tug of war this week between the self and other. Let's break this down. What I did, this one for some reason, out of all the weeks that I've been reading for you all collectively, this week, I was pulling as much information as I possibly could because this feels big. We're also hitting in a couple days the 1010 portal, which is a reset point. But this feels like the cosmic ignition before the cosmic reset. And it also is a culmination of the Aries Libra eclipse season from 2023 to 2025 that we had prior when the nodes were in Aries and Libra. So you're going to be seeing themes of this playing out right now that you're like, God, this really feels familiar, and it's being brought back up again to the surface to be purified and released under the Mars and Scorpio energy. So Aries full moon, just what you need to take away here. I'm going to read this to you so you can really sink in. We're going to talk about how it's impacting this whole week, your career, your finances, your love life, your spiritual growth. I'm going to lead you through a really big affirmation that you can use tonight. You can say it out loud, speak it to the full moon. I'm also going to share a really beautiful quote by Blue of Earth that really moved me this week. So let's get started. Thank you for being here, first of all, and thank you for tuning in week after week, and thank you for all of the birthday wishes. It boosts me up so much to feel this collective fire, and I show up week to week because of you all. So thank you. So let's get into this. Okay. This is what I'm calling a week of fierce illumination and soul alchemy. All right. This week, energy burns bright and deep. It's a fusion of Aries supermoon fire and Mars and Scorpio water that both ignites and purifies. The supermoon is at 14 degrees Aries, like I mentioned earlier. It's a cosmic ignition point. It brings clarity. And don't we all, as a Libra, I don't like this word, but it's true. It brings clarity through confrontation, which can be peaceful, right? Whenever we have to, we think of confrontation as a negative word, but it really is when we need to be honest with oneself. Because through this confrontation, it's going to allow us to have courage to seek the truth and speak the truth. So at the same time, Mars is entering Scorpio today. Now, this is its home sign, right? Mars loves Scorpio. And it's going to amplify emotional depth, passion, and our instincts to transform. So Mars here is the sacred warrior and the shadow healer, which could feel like a lot. And it's going to push us to go beyond the surface solutions and into the heart of what truly is driving us forward. So the energetic theme this week overall, beyond this fierce illumination and soul alchemy, is the courage to transform. This week, truth and desire merge. You may feel pulled toward radical action or sudden decisions. But remember, true power comes not from reaction, but from response. Remember that this week. Not from reaction, but from response. Let your emotions guide you without letting them rule you. Themes that might be coming up for review this week: intimacy and vulnerability, power and control, secrets and revelations, transformation and rebirth. And like I said, look back to the Aries Libra eclipse season from April 23 to March 25. This week's Aries full moon may echo events from that time period and themes. So also take heart that because this full moon, whenever we have a full moon, it's in opposition to the sun, which is in Libra. And this, like I said, you may be feeling this this tension between self and relationship, assertion and harmony, truth and compromise. So this is a really big thing to ask yourself this week. Instead of saying to yourself, how do I keep everyone happy? The deeper question is, how do I stay true to myself while remaining open-hearted? All right. Big, big, big. That's hard to do, right? Let's look at the energetic forecast for the week. Now, this is for love and relationships. Relationship dynamics are going to feel charged as Aries pushes for independence and Libra seeks balance. This full moon invites honest conversations about needs and boundaries. Even if it stirs discomfort, then we have for our career and finances, this full moon is going to support bold action at work, pitch, launch, or advocate with clarity while keeping finances grounded in long-term plans. And as far as spiritual growth comes through action. Test your truth in real time and use practices like journaling or movement to stay grounded. Some really good self-reflection questions for this week are, number 1, where have I been waiting for permission to act? And what would happen if I gave it to myself? Number 2, what truth am I ready to speak, even if it disrupts the peace? And number 3, how can I balance my independence with my need for connection? So the Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising placements are going to feel this, as well as anyone with 11 to 15 degrees cardinal signs. Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn. We're going to be feeling this the most strongly this week, just FYI. So this is by the Spiritual Magic, and this is going to be very important. I'm going to say this as an I statement. And I want you, if you can, you might not be able to speak out loud because you could be hearing this at work or you're in the car or whatever. Try to pause this if you can. You know what I'm going to do for you, which I don't normally do? I'm going to actually put this affirmation in the description box because this is so powerful. I want all of you to have something to take away for this full moon as a practice. So I'm going to put this up in the description box. Hopefully you can cut and paste it. But if not, this is by the Spiritual Magic, which is the Instagram handle. And you can go to the most recent post of the Spiritual Magic. It's the supermoon, full moon in Aries affirmation. Okay? I honor this super full moon as a turning point. I gently release all that weighs down my spirit. Old patterns, past attachments, and unspoken burdens, I no longer carry you. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. Because these are important statements and declarations. It might as well be called a declaration. I like declarations of affirmation. Just FYI, it's just my own little twist. I call back my energy from all places it doesn't belong. I create room for peace, clarity, and new beginnings. What is no longer aligned will naturally fall away. What is truly meant for me will feel light, true, and peaceful. I release resentment. I release shame. I release fear. I embrace the version of me that chooses balance, healing, and wholeness. With the glow of this harvest super full moon, I step into harmony within myself, my relationships, and my future. I am free. I am restored. I am becoming. I am ready. So, isn't that amazing? I love that. I thought that was very powerful. So speak those aloud today. Do it under the full moon. If you can, if you have time for that. Try to make time. Now, the October 1010 portal gateway, this is a gateway that gifts us codes of completion and activation. It's a powerful numerological gateway because it breaks down into 11 or 11. It opens up a path of alignment and divine order between your sacred self in this lifetime, here and now, 3D reality, to your higher self, right? In all other dimensions. So you may feel guided this week to complete long cycles and step into a new level of awareness. You may automatically arrive in this, or it may be more of a co-creation intention. Like you can even ask your soul, I call back in more of my soul flame at this time through this portal, right? Please allow this reset, this spiritual reset to unfold. So trust in the closure of this week, especially post 1010 gateway this weekend coming up, and welcome the encoded upgrades that are pouring into the earth at this time, okay, because of this gateway. Now, let's read what Blue of Earth, who I really love her posts. I love her energy. I love her frequency. A lot of you know who Blue is. She's a powerful force on Instagram, and I just love her. This is a quote she posted recently. The revolution that will not be televised is the one that happens within us when we choose to see the soul in another, not caught by the realm of matter, limited by our five senses that label, define, judge, and put away the source wrapped in physical form, sitting right in front of us. So it's really seeing the soul in others, even when triggered or when feeling emotional challenges, because this Mars and Scorpio, I mean, it's a lot of fire, it's a lot of ignition, a lot of passion. This is going to give us that energy we need, though, to move in the directions in these upgraded versions of ourselves, of who we have been working on becoming. All right. So let's now get into the divination portion. Yeah, that one took me a minute. I don't know why, but I just was like, I want to get it right. I want to nail the energy. And it does feel like this powerful triumvirate of energy. And if you can use this Aries fire and go deep and seek as much harmony as you can within, it could be just a beautiful week of activating your depths, right? And releasing anything karmically that you've been contending with, all right? We've been seeing a lot of themes in the October reading so far around forgiveness and fierce compassion, assertiveness, balance and harmony. All right, let's see. Thank you, Spirit, for presiding over this reading for the collective. All right, let's see what comes out. This is what we may have forgotten. I actually have a new deck. I have it right here. Rebecca Campbell has a new deck, and it's called the Inner Temple Oracle. I love it. She even has this little like groovy, you can put your card daily in it. I'm not an affiliate of any of these decks. I'm just a fan. I'm a fan of creators and creativity. So you might want to go out and get yourself. I think I got it at a discount. I'm pretty sure it's still at a discount. So we'll be reading from that here in a little while. All right, let's see. What are some of the frequencies that we're dealing with this week in the adventure? It's like your heart's greatest adventures are unfolding. And when I see this, this is the riches of the heart, the awakened heart. And then the way we communicate from the awakened heart with the blue. And she's gentle. This is like the courage to have grace this week, even when we're feeling intensity, you know, the intensity of whatever it is we're moving through. Giving ourselves permission, right, to be gentle with ourselves. Ah, wow. We have the cosmic egg showing up with that 1010 portal, which is, what are you working on creating? It's a new adventure. I feel like, too, this is an opportunity for us to really release the past and no longer live there. Just be fiercely present. And we have goals for the future, but we're really aiming and staying in alignment, divine alignment with ourselves. And I see that we're being lovingly guided. And Spirit wants us to see this week more as like, allow it to be more of an adventure of discovery rather than, you know, a repeat of the past. This is when we need to break pattern and change the way we respond. Not looking at the other to they're bad, I'm good, or, you know, framing from a dichotomy or a duality perspective, the polarity, rise above it. Because in any given moment, we have the 3D reality going higher. And you get to decide where you want to see things. You can see it from a 3D you versus me perspective and what you're encountering. Or you can go higher and look in a more unified whole of the experience. And I like doing that. A lot of times I'll look at a situation that I'm going through in life and I'm like, what's the 3D layer? Okay, what's the 4D layer? What's the 5D layer? And how do I want to respond? I feel like that's what Spirit's saying, like, keep your hearts open. There's riches there. See whatever your challenges that you're facing this week as an opportunity for transformation, and see it as an adventure of the heart, and that you're being lovingly guided and protected through this transformation as we have this almost like this serpent, or I'm getting like more of a dragon coil around this, which dragons were the ones that took us into other dimensions, other realms, other portals. So we have this opportunity to seek out new information this week, and we're being protected almost like the eggshell, right? Of breaking free, right? Of whatever we feel is confining us. And yeah, there's that Scorpio and Mars energy of purification and cleansing. Not surprising. My nose is itching like mad. And then the numerology, we have 9, 8, and 3. Makes sense. I'll let you all decipher that. And then we have ego. Oh boy. Yep. And that's when we identify too much with our pain, our what Eckhart Tolle calls the pain body, our wounding. So I feel like egoic patterns might be coming up or displayed in your relationships this week. And we have 28, which is 1. So it's like we have this progression of number 9 karmic year moving into a new pathway of abundance. We're at the portal threshold of a, well, this sacred, push-pull, right? Of self versus other, and the lessons that are being played out in our relationships. And what do you need to experience in this gateway? What do you need to release and cleanse in order to feel a new level of wholeness? And Spirit is saying, you got to drop the ego. We got to drop the ego. We got to recognize it's there, but you don't let the ego rule. This is about having a higher consciousness. Last one, the Tao flow. And that higher consciousness has, and then what's under it? Sacred knowledge. That we all have the codes. We have the codes of higher consciousness that are indoctrinated in our DNA. And we are activating them at an unprecedented rate at this time. Because I know everyone who is being called to these readings, you are on the path of illumination. And to live an illuminated life means that you bring light into the world and you shine that light out. And it is a catalytic converter from ego, right? Of separation to wholeness, because separation is an illusion. But we can get caught in that trap too. Man, my nose. There's just a lot of thoughts spiking this week. Remembrance. Whenever I have an itchy nose, it's like there's just, people are thinking deeply and being very self-reflective this week under this moon. This is a powerful moon that's revealing a great deal of information, all right? And Spirit's saying we have knowledge, right? Sacred knowledge built within us of our activated higher selves. Lean in. Don't lean into ego. It's like, do you want to lean into ego or do you want to lean into the Tao of flow? It's a big choice. Let's get a spirit daughter manifestation, and then I'm going to get into the tarot. Wow. But we get to choose. That's the thing when I talk about different levels of perspective, different dimensional perspectives. And I think when we go through this path of transformation, we actually have the privilege of multiple perspectives, and we have more of a conscious co-creative choice in that. So this is the week where we're being cleansed and stripped away of some of our egoic patterns. And it's time to see your life more as an adventure, and that we're being lovingly guided and protected. Yeah, and there's that let go, which is the full moon is always a culmination point of releasing what has happened, what has transpired, and forgive. I let go of what no longer serves me. Big theme for the year. And then we have be seen. Be seen. I trust. I should have this one memorized. I inspire others when I allow myself to be seen. And this is stepping in, right, to a greater light frequency, a greater activated, more whole, higher consciousness, right? So the more we release, the more we free up our light body to actually amplify our light. And I've been listening to, it seems, and you might have seen this in my readings over, the last few years, where I'll revisit Kabbalistic, principles. And it really is about removing the barriers that block the light. But it's in the greatest rooms where, a dark room, you turn on the light's going to be the most intense experience. So we need the darkness. We need to embrace our own shadows and integrate them. And when we go into periods of forgetfulness, it's the wakefulness that that actually enlivens us. So allow whatever forgetfulness you may have had or will have this week ahead. Allow that, though, to help open you up and amplify your wakefulness. And it's like you're asleep. I'm in ego. I'm identifying with the pain. I'm stuck. To wait a minute. This is an opportunity for me actually to lean in and trust and surrender. that this is also revealing something to me. And it takes so much practice. It's called spiritual strength. It's not easy. And this week you may be feeling that. Let's get into the tarot. Let go and be seen. Let go and be seen. We're being guided on this adventure of purification. Spirit's like, this is supposed to be, many of us are like, this is not an adventure. Purification's not easy. Purging's not easy. But I think they're trying to get us to lighten up a little bit, despite the intensity. Because this is the final quarter of the year, and there's 3 super moons. So this is the first one. We have another one in November and another one in December. So this is a wind up. I'm getting like a pitcher, Let's wind it up. Oh goodness. I mean, it's the more you can let go, the more you can, free yourself, right? From the intensity of sometimes what feels dense or heavy. I love it. It's the light of illumination. And this is a great card. Lately, it's been source energy, pure source energy. Also, it could also signify everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. You're on the path of illumination. You will be okay. And sometimes we have to remind ourselves of that when we're getting triggered or when we're unsure, when we're facing uncertainty or adversity. We forget, you know what? Everything is going to be okay. I'm going through a challenge right now, but everything's going to be okay. I like that. The sun. The Ace of Pentacles. Opportunity to invest in higher awareness. Wow. This is gorgeous energy for the week. This is the week where we can actually let our upgrade take hold. And you could be going through some final initiatory steps. You're being lovingly guided and protected through the energies and intensities of this fire meets water meets air type of week. I think too, she's giving this gift of wisdom in the palm of her hand, and she's holding it outward. The veil's not only thinning, we're all reaching an unprecedented level of people awakening on this planet. And it's an exciting time. We can look at it as like, oh Lord, everything's falling apart. Or everything's being pulled apart so we can rebuild, restructure, reorient, recycle, reuse, repurpose the energies. Sometimes things need to be pulled apart, right? So they can be put back together again, better, stronger, wiser. So I feel like this is the opportunity for this week to take your light codes and deepen in them spiritually. This is your high priestess. This is moon energy. It's the sun meets the moon and the investment, right? And grounding in that. Because we do have the Aries Libra axis here, large and in charge, with that Scorpio energy underneath it, this is about the fire of purification so we can transform and the courage to do that. Let's now clarify. I want to clarify. So there's a lot of happiness coming in through your inner introspective, inner reflection, spiritual practices. This is when you're like, man, I'm like feeling some intense energies, and it's like my heart is opening and I'm feeling grounded and I'm feeling like my psychic sight is coming in. I'm getting all these downloads. I'm seeing the signs and synchronicities. I'm tapped in. I'm tuned in. That's the energy of this week. But if you want to sit in ego and fear, it's going to be there too. And you get to decide, are you going to let go? Are you going to step into the light? Queen of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles. Are you going to ground in your own sovereign energy? And remember who you are. From forgetfulness to wakefulness. We do it again and again and again and again. And then spiritual strength allows us to get closer and closer and closer, where the gap doesn't take as long, where we're not taking too big of a leap next time. Ooh, I forgot for a minute. I'm back in the saddle. Ooh, and each time it allows us to almost laugh at the struggle. And I know it's hard because struggle is real, but when we can make light of the journey as a whole and we switch into those higher perspectives, it makes it so much easier. This is a beautifully balancing week if you invest in that. Presence, surrender, flow, honoring your own inner knowing, working on your own personal fulfillment, doing what makes you happy. I'm now clarifying the High Priestess, Four of Swords. Wow, this is a really healing week. A really healing week. We have the Four of Swords, the Nine of Cups, the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is a very difficult energy, you all, okay? Because this is the energy, this is the I'm not good enough, I'm not enough, I'm messing up, or I'm never going to have XYZ, or this is never going to work out. This is that energy, the sun. It's the first energy that came out. Spirit's saying everything's going to be okay. Trust in your divine wisdom. Trust in your inner knowing. Invest in that. And then when you go deeper into that inner knowing, Spirit's saying, are you doing things that are really bringing you fulfillment? Are you working on your healing? Are you integrating this? Because we all have this. We come in as inner child wounded, okay? You cannot escape it. It's part of our spiritual syllabus, right? Our soul education syllabus. This Five of Pentacles is part of it. I have to let go of things. I have to let go of people, places, and things that I didn't want to, or they did to me. It's like, it's the wounds. It's the victim consciousness. It's loud on this planet. But we came here to elevate it, to elevate beyond it. It doesn't mean we say, that's bad. We say, I see above it. I see through it. And that's what Spirit's asking us to do this week. Seek through it. We've done enough healing now. We can choose between emotional harmony of self and other, or lack, victim, me versus you, separation, forgetfulness. I'm going to read to you. We're going to get another message. I'm bouncing, but I like to bounce. You should see me in real life. IRL, Jenna's I'm like a full fireball of energy. A lot of you don't know that about me, but I'm a very, very active person. My father's 80 and he can walk circles around most people. And I'm just lucky that I was given a lot of energy in this lifetime, and not everyone gets that. And so no matter where you fall on the spectrum, and I've had times, like I broke my back in 2014, laid me out. I was like, dang, people who deal with chronic pain, this is awful, hard, difficult. And we're going to go through periods where we're going to have a lot of energy, a lot of vitality, and periods where we feel sick, ill, injured. And it's a chapter, right? If we can look at our life experience as chapters, it makes it easier to cope. And I think that's what Spirit's trying to say is we all have coping skills now that allow us to have spiritual strength through the pathway of surrender, through our sacred knowledge, where we can understand ego, but we're purifying these ancestrally, genetically, generationally, individually. I feel on fire today. This Aries full moon. There it is again. Four of Swords, Four of Swords, Four of Pentacles. We have 4-4. So much 4 is going on. A lot of you are seeing 4-4-4. If you're seeing that, it's a code. The Spirit's saying you're on the right path. This came out, the squirrel. And I am seeing squirrels left and right gathering their acorns here. It's really cute. They're all over the place here in my neighborhood. Be cautious, and this is about moderation and balance with Libra. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you are spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building walls that keep people out. So Spirit is asking us for moderation and balance. What else? And that is kind of an homage to squirrel season. I was in a store and it was like a squirrel with nuts, and it said easily distracted. And I think we all can relate to that in this increasingly technological world. And then the Nine of Swords, Sea Lion. Your worries and fears aren't real. They're fueled by focusing on the negative. See, it's a polarity. Are you going to focus on the negative this week? Because it's going to be a really hard week if you do. Your worries and fears aren't real. They're fueled by focusing on the negative, which gives power to that which you're afraid of. Stop worrying. Let go of fear, and everything will be okay. The sun. We're getting a repeating message there. So 4 of Earth, 9 of Air. That's the spirit animal guides. We have the sea lion and the squirrel. Okay. Now, I'm going to read for you Mark Nepo. I'm bringing him back. I haven't read this yet, but I just felt like it was a Mark Nepo type of week. October 6th. 2 ways to feel wind. There are 2 ways to feel wind. Climb into the open and be still, or keep moving. Everyone alive embodies both being and doing. The wind we create by running is the energy of becoming, and the wind that comes to us by stilling ourselves is the energy of being. Ooh. All right. He always goes so, oh man, Mark, I love you. Being human, there are endless times we need to be still and as many times that we need to move. But much of our confusion as modern citizens comes from trying to have the one we are more comfortable with substitute for the other. Those of us who struggle with being still often can't find the native wind, while those of us uncomfortable with living in the world can retreat into a stillness that is open but often void of the energy of living. Yet these concerns are more seamless than how we tend to discuss them. My godson Eli captured the oneness of being and becoming when going for a walk the autumn he was 6. He and his father were standing in an open field bordered with maples and willows when a wind lifted through. It so excited Eli that he began to twirl and spin and run with his arms wide through the brightened trees. Out of breath and stunned, he tugged at his father's sleeve, exclaiming, "Daddy, Daddy, if you run too fast, you can't tell what's real." Amazingly, there is great insight in children and great innocence. They carry wisdom they often live but seldom know. Ironically, we spend our lives trying to regain that treasured state where being and doing are inseparably one. Which comes to you more easily, being or doing? Why do you think this is so? What would you like to change about your energy of doing? What would you like to change about your energy of being? Wholeheartedly choose to spin with your arms wide in an open field the next chance you get. What else feels like this for you? What sort of involvement brings being and doing together for you? Wholeheartedly choose to involve yourself this way at least twice in the next 2 weeks. Wow. It's beautiful advice for Libra season. I love that a lot. All right, I'm going to get some advice, and then we're going to pull from Rebecca Campbell's new deck. Let's get some advice. Thank you for being here. Y'all lift my spirits every single Monday. It's time to be seen, to let go. Be the inspirational figures, inspirational people that you are as you embody more light and you deepen in your sacred knowledge. What's the advice? 4 of Wands. See? 444. 444. Meditate on this. It's a very strong, high frequency energy coming in with these 3 placements happening this week between Aries, Scorpio, and Libra. We have the 4 of Wands. These are rites of passage. It's also partnership. We have the... Wow, we have another repeating 4 of Pentacles with the 10 of Swords. I feel like this is we've been going through, the tarot moves so slowly. A lot of times I feel like I'm a broken record repeating the same thing. The 10 of Swords lately has been about the end of suffering and not holding on to endings, life's fated endings. This is a big culmination of closure as we release whatever has happened. Some of us as far back as 2023. And the themes, that's the thing. I'm getting like, this is a rite of passage. Don't hold on to the emotion, the ego. Don't keep repeating the negative narrative. I am this, they are that. Rise above it. Above it. So our advice is to let endings be the endings for what they serve us and allow it for you to step into more stability and security, because that's what endings bring. Stability and security and sovereignty in self. That's the lesson underneath everything. there are lessons. So I feel like we're graduating. This is a graduation. It's kind of like, it's not as big as the world card. I would have loved to have seen that. But it's really a rite of passage where it's about building more stability and security because of what needs to be shed, because of what needs to be released. We have to let go, and then we let more light in. So this Four of Pentacles is being highlighted twice, which is about not holding on with that tied to that Nine of Swords, holding on to negative narratives and the stress of holding on too much. This is when we hold on to the fear of persecution, the fear of being seen, fear in general. Like Ten of Swords is that feeling of this isn't going to work out to its extreme. In fact, some of it is this isn't working out. And taking a look at that and honoring, what is that showing you? What is that speaking to you? And the confusion in that. This is going to require patience. This is about our connections and the confusions, emotional confusion around certain connections, and needing to see things from both perspectives and wrapping up a huge cycle of loss, of ego, of fear, of insecurity and doubt. And the moon reveals all. I think this is where we're walking in as King of Cups, Five of Cups, Devil, Moon. All of these themes around everything leads us back to ourselves. I know that Spirit Daughter is going to wrap this up perfectly with the Inner Temple. It's a very interesting deck. I wasn't sure if I'd pull from it, but I got the message, pull from it today. What's the final card for the week ahead? Basically, what it all teaches us is to flow and surrender and let go. What do we need to know? Rebecca Campbell, the Inner Temple. What is the main energy we need to know? This one's going to fly out. There it is. Top one they said. I don't even know what it says. Life force. Underneath it, we have trapped versus freedom. And the darkest night as we walk. We're all just walking each other home. Remember that. Remember that. And like Blue said, the revolution's not going to be televised. It's when we choose to see the soul in another, no matter what. Let's read Life Force. Life Force. I'll have a link for this in the box below so you can get yours. I think this is she has different suits. In this suit, bear with me here. Oh, it's an activation suit. Okay. Which they activate energetic imprints within you, opening you up to expansive new possibilities. Yeah, that makes sense with the full supermoon. So this is an activation point. Let's see what she has to say about life force. There's an intelligent, sacred pulse woven through all of life. This sacred, intelligent pulse is within all living things. It's a life force itself and one of the greatest mysteries there is. When we're connected to that, we're connected to life itself. This card comes with a message of vitality and connection. It can appear when we feel energetically alive, or it can be a wake-up call to consider whether we feel disconnected from this force, and then to find a way to make decisions based on what increases our connection to our life force or vital energy. It can also represent a Kundalini Shakti awakening, which a lot of you could be having this week, which occurs when the spiritual energy dormant within the body begins to activate and rise. Shakti is the Sanskrit word for the spiritual cosmic energy of the divine feminine, which we have here being represented by the High Priestess. No two Kundalini Shakti awakenings are the same. Many side effects can occur, from physical shaking to bouts of ecstatic bliss, and from physical and emotional purging to seeing spiritual visions of past lives or ancestral memories, in the processing of what has been dormant in the physical. This card is a powerful one to receive. Wow. It's like a bolt of lightning, full of activation energy, and often indicates a period of awakening and transformation, frequently with physical symptoms. The invitation is to align with the life force. It comes with a question. What in your life increases your life force? What in your life diminishes your life force? I like this framing because we're looking at the Nine of Cups versus the Five of Pentacles. So what is increasing your life force and what is decreasing your life force? The Inner Temple activation. I choose to align my energy centers and the pulse with the pulse of life. I choose to align my energy centers with the pulse of life. I say yes to that which increases my vital energies and makes me come alive. I recognize that I am an extension of the energy of the earth. Wow. I love that. Life force. And look at that. The serpent. And we have the Scorpio, Mars and Scorpio, energies of the serpent. We have the serpent here. Wow. And then we have the serpent wrapping up. And this is the Ouroboros. Ouroboros. I always get the name wrong. This is a big ending of a cycle, you all. Completion. Right? Completion. Clear, cancel, release. If I had the angel guide, I'm sure that would probably come out. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I am going to be doing the rest of the October readings. Thank you for your patience. As always, I send you love. I send you hugs. A deep, deep, warm hug for the week ahead. Namaste.